They do some really great covers for very reasonable prices. Because, I mean, you know as well as I do, you could spend, $7,000 getting somebody to do a book cover for you. But is it really that much more than somebody who does between 500 and 1,000 for a cover? Is it that much better, really? I've had a lot of compliments on my book covers, especially Floating Twigs and The Purger. But it's an interesting aspect, I think, to the writing world. When you sit down, when you want to be a writer, and you sit down and you start writing something, and you're thinking, okay, I write it and that's all I have to do. But these days, it's like, no, you've also got to do marketing. You've got to, especially if you're self-published, you've got to find a good cover, and pay for that. Do an audiobook, which Floating Twigs is now an audiobook. And all of that it consumes a lot of time I wish it didn't have to consume. But if I want my books out there and I want them to do well, it's the kind of thing you have to do.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are really interested in audiobooks just because, they can't always sit down and read or whatever, or they have to take a long road trip or something like that. And it's better just to listen to it. So, it's great to be able to have that opportunity as well. It's been nice to be able to talk to you about your novels. Best of luck coming the rest of the year, and we'll look forward to some of the new books coming out later this year and early next.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. I've enjoyed it. This is actually the fun part of marketing. So, is talking to people like you. So.
Well, it's great to hear. I mean, always interesting to be able to talk to a fellow writer as well. I mean, I talk to a lot of musicians, talk to a lot of actors, a lot of comedians, but I only get once in a while to be able to talk to some writers. So it's great to be able to do that as well. So
all right.
It's great talking to you.
Well, I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
You guys can check us out on social media at SWIV, at SWIV on Twitter, also Somewhere in Vegas on Facebook, and at SWIV Podcast on Instagram. You guys please subscribe to us on iTunes, or you guys can check us out on Alexa as well. You just talk up to Alexa and ask for Somewhere in Vegas Podcast. We will have episodes on Mondays and Wednesdays throughout the rest of the year, celebrating our 13th anniversary as a podcast. So definitely subscribe to us. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll be back next week here on Somewhere in Vegas.